What's up, guys? It's your boy Monster back with another draft profile video. I know I've been dragging my feet with this series, but today I said we were gonna talk about my quarterback prospects in order of how I rank them, and number 2 up on the list. You can probably tell by the title, so I'm not gonna stall. It's Deshone Kizer, and the reason I got Deshone Kizer is she's just like I fell in love with him when I watched him play with Will Fuller. Like, I have not seen a team with such a great deep ball quarterback and receiver in some, like, I mean, I understand there are other teams that throw the deep ball just as well, but it was just like these guys had a connection. And Will Fuller, like, every time he'd catch a pass, it'd be like a 50 or 60 yard completion. So with that, I just had to take a look at my man Deshone Kizer and talk about him. Now, he's a redshirt for he started as a redshirt freshman after Malik Zaire ended his season with a broken ankle. Malik Zaire looked like he would have a very bright future, and I think he still might have a very bright future, but his injury gave way to Deshone Kizer, who may end up being a very high pick in this draft. Looking at him, he has a completion rate again in the 60s, which is good. Completion percentage in the 60s. That's pretty much a must. Then looking at him, he has a lot of touchdowns. He's a very good dual threat quarterback. He has, like I said before, deep ball. He has a great big arm talent. He can step. He has a step and the ability to crank his throws and drive them deep into seams. So, his arm talent and willingness um, to bait safeties and look safeties off and test safeties, that's something you like in a quarterback. Now, of course, you don't want a guy who's going to test the safeties all the time to where it either gets predictable or it gets too erratic that he starts having bad passes that are just like you're wondering where he was throwing it at. But with him, I do like what he's done. Now, continuing to look at my notes I got here, I probably watched a lot of his games, like I said, with Will Fuller, because I was trying to look at how good Will Fuller was of a receiver. But then in doing that, I also saw how good Deshone Kizer was, which got me hooked on watching him again this year. But then he has a powerful grip, allowing for aggressive pump fakes. That was something like I saw sometimes using the pump fake to get a defender in the air so he could just run right past him. That's just a great ability to have. And especially this dual threat in the red zone, that will be killer. Now, with all the good stuff said about him, every player has weaknesses. What are his? Let's look through. And he may not have the eyes or compact release to spot and hit flashing targets. So players that are typically supposed to be easy targets, he's just gonna, or not easy targets, but small window throws, he's going to have trouble with that. Sometimes he seems to be too hesitant, which is something you see as a problem in a lot of young players. You know, they're scared to make mistakes, so they end up playing with a lot of hesitancy. So that's a little problem. Sometimes he gets, like, I said he is really good at pump faking, but there's a point at which you can pump fake too much. There's a point at which the pump fake um, loses its ability to throw off the defense when you're doing it too much, which is what he might have a tendency to do at times. And then um, sometimes he seems to think about running the ball and actually does run the ball before he he looks to run before he looks at his passing options. So sometimes, the bigger play, you can say it's down the field and you can see where he should put it, but then he's going to decide to tuck the ball and run. And, you always say with these quarterbacks, it's nice that you have legs, but you always want a quarterback who will keep his eyes down the field when he breaks contain, because usually the bigger play will be a passing play rather than a rushing play by the quarterback. Um, he's also sometimes got inconsistent decision making, which leads to interceptions. So sometimes, he was actually benched against Stanford. He had at least one interception in 15 of his 23 starts, which that's understandable. You're not going to find many quarterbacks who pull some Dak Prescott stuff and they only have like interceptions in what, 3 games, and then of course people are still going to somehow tell you that this guy is not one of the best rookie players of all time. Whatever. But yeah, as you can tell, um, I like my boy Dak Prescott. But um, concluding this, he's his aforementioned traits um, could land this guy in the first round. It definitely will land him in the first round. Looking at it, I actually have 4 quarterbacks. That's 4. This year, I would say, is the deepest year of quarterbacks in this draft class. It's the deepest draft we've seen in a long time. Last year yielded about 3 good quarterbacks. Is there one I'm forgetting? Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott. Cody Kessler isn't good. Get out of here, Browns fans. Um, but yeah, so, and then this year, I actually have a few guys who could very well be starting come week 1, and those are players like Mitch Trubisky, Deshone Kizer, Deshaun Watson, and Patrick Mahomes. Possibly Josh Dobbs, depending on which team he falls with. Those, I guess I just spoiled the surprise. Those are my top 5 quarterbacks. I really don't see anyone else who's better. You can throw Nathan Peterman in there, but I really don't like him that much. Now, I didn't say my NFL comparison, and looking at Deshone Kizer, his ability to run, his ability to pass, man, I don't really know if there's anyone in the league that he resembles. Um, I know, like, there are a lot of dual threat quarterbacks I could just throw out there, but are they exactly the same? Do they have the same strengths, weaknesses? I would say the closest guy I can get to him, if he pulls this best case scenario, it's Donovan McNabb. Best case scenario, Donovan McNabb. I don't think that's completely out of the realm of possibility. Both of them, both of these guys are great dual threat quarterbacks, but Donovan McNabb was a great passer. So it just remains to be seen, can Deshone Kizer find the balance between passing and running? So with that said, guys, peace out. I hope you liked this video. Stay classy, be sassy. With that said, have a good one. Peace out.